Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Fans in Motion podcast, the only podcast that you didn't know you needed. I say to my two friends sitting here, dressed to kill and looking dynamite, with her high lace stockings and her sweater so tight.
Oh,
I
yeah.
asked her name. She said her name was Maybe. Say hello, Josh.
It feels like it's been forever since we've done this.
Yeah, it does.
Normally, when I would ask a girl her name, I wouldn't get Maybe. Her name was always Piss Off.
Yeah.
So
we could all alter that with our own personal versions.
Andy
I
one
never
day,
got Maybe. I got no.
Andy decided to change the lyrics to that and use it towards his own advantage. He'd walk up to a girl and goes, "Oh, you have no idea how I could disappoint you."
Yeah.
What's the line? What's that line you always say?
Oh, I could let you down.
No, it's something about disappointment.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I forget now. I put me on the spot.
I could disappoint her in so many ways.
Yeah. Anyway, so what's going on, guys?
Well, let's see here. A lot's changed in the last couple weeks, but let's talk about this week's episode before we get into that.
So I opened with my favorite. Well, I should say my favorite. That was the first thing we ever heard from a Jack Blades who had left Night Ranger, or I should say left. Night Ranger had parted ways, but this was the first thing that we heard from Jack, and I remember hearing this song and absolutely loving it. And I've said it before in other episodes. The very first CD I ever bought was Damn Yankees. So.
And if
we are here to discuss.
And yeah, if you haven't caught on, this episode is an album dive into the first Damn Yankees record, the 1990 self-titled album. Tommy Shaw, Jack Blades, Ted Nugent, and Michael Cartellone. So, yeah, I mean, I think all of us are going to have probably some of the same similar stories about it and how great it was when that was released. Andy?
So the last episode we did was Ed Repepe.
Ed.
I unfortunately have not. I've had a rough 2 weeks. I have not seen this episode yet, but have you guys gotten anything? Any feedback? Any good, bad, negative? Has Ed stopped taking your calls?
All positive feedback. Everybody enjoyed the behind the scenes stuff. So it was a great interview. We got to see the office where he's pulling stuff, down, and then, what we'll talk about later. Ed was there, showed me all the ropes when I went down and saw Night Ranger in Houston last weekend. So great episode, and I hope to get Ed on again. We got the Cleveland show, the memorial show for his brother, September 8th. Those tickets are on sale. It's at Cleveland at Jacobs Pavilion, right there on the river. It's a fantastic venue. The Fans in Motion will be there, hopefully all three of us, but we have a table there. We are going to have a tent there, and we will be doing, I don't know if we're going to be doing some recording, but we'll be there doing something, handing out stickers or letting people sit on Brent's lap. I don't know, something. So it's going to be a fun time, September 8th.
Yeah, and I'll be singing Spice Girls to him. Oh, tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
It will be to get up. So
I got to get up there, and I'm thinking about maybe doing a contest where they got to pay $150 for that ticket and come pick me up and take me up there, turn and burn.
Turn and burn. That's gonna be turn and burn for you.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of fun. Hey, Fans in Motion contest with Brent. Oh, I can see it now. It's gonna shut down the
old
page.
MTV contest.
That's right.
Win a day with Brent.
It'd just be nothing but picking your nose and farting,
Sold.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, I saw a lot of the comments on it, and I started to watch the episode when, as we'll address later on, things in my life turned a little south. So I had to ignore Fans in Motion for the past 2 weeks. But I'm back. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be um, getting back into the swing of normalcy. So with that being said, um, do we have any Night Ranger news that we can drop on these some hot Night Ranger conversation?
Hot.
Well, we just had a hell of a catch in center field by.
Is
I
there
don't
any
know
hot
who's.
Reds talk going on?
Well,
real quick?
that's what I got on up there, ninth inning in the out in Colorado. But
Is
so
it snowing out there?
negative. But what we got in the Night Ranger news is tour dates are starting to come in. Things are starting to open up. We've got a show that was just announced in, I think it's going to be middle of October in
Pigeon Forge.
Pigeon Forge. Don't mention anything else because I don't know what's all public and what's not. But that one is public. There's more that's coming out. A couple weeks we got the South Dakota show, right? And an Iowa show. The Nebraska show on Saturday night has been canceled. So I think that's the 28th or whatever that Saturday is, that middle show that's been canceled. The new Night Ranger album is coming out this summer.
We don't have a date on that yet, though, right?
No.
And we should start seeing that machine start getting going here soon. So there's that Night Ranger news. The other Night Ranger news that happened almost 2 weeks ago, not quite, is me and Kelly got to talking, and I am helping him with his social media, starting out with Facebook. So if you've noticed, we've got, Kelly, his page is now very active.
Yes.
How it works is we'll just talk about, the next few days of, hey, what do you want to put up there? And then basically, if it's me posting something, I'll make sure that the, people on the page know it's me. But if it's Kelly posting, he obviously writes his name and, so it's from him. So we're getting that going and getting a good, so it's fun. We got some behind the scenes stuff coming up, and we've posted the Ed Repepe link for our podcast there, and some different stuff. And I had originally planned to go to Houston even before I think we did the Kelly Kagi interview, because Eric Levy, who's been on the podcast multiple times, I had just sent him a message that, like, hey, I think I'm going to come down to Houston. Let me know if you're free one night. We'll get a beer. And things kind of, kept going with, Kelly, and started doing his social media. So, and then all of us meeting Ed. So when I came down to, Houston, me and Kelly were going to film some great behind the scenes stuff, and when I'm there, I can't give a lot of details because that's their world, that's their environment. They're inviting me in. I'm doing stuff for Kelly, so I can't. It's not professional just to give away details and conversations. What I can say is, I did obviously get to spend time with Kelly recording some things. I did get to talk to Jack a little, Carrie a little. Everybody was, extremely busy. I did get to spend some time with Eric. The crew, I got to meet all of the crew, and I think we all know how much it takes in to get a show going. I mean, we've all, you guys have set up at clubs and stuff with your own band, But we also know that just being fans of all these bands, we know that it takes a lot to get a show going. It's even more than we know. I mean, there's so much going on, and actually being backstage and seeing this, it's almost the machine and the dance. Like, it's nothing I can really describe, but just how hard they work and how dedicated they are, and just wanting everything to be perfect. I mean, just after it could have ended, I seen them, still working on stuff, the lighting, getting the lighting right, and just the sound. And but I was able to go to sound check, recorded some great things of Kelly, which will be coming out on his page. I took some great photos, got some photos for Eric. There's some video of Eric I took of Eric walking up the ramp backstage. That was a longer video we edited down, but that was me taking that. And but yeah, it was nice. We did the warm up video of Kelly doing the drums. That was just spontaneous. I was all the way down to this other end of the hallway. I was talking to, I think, Carl, who is their, I think, assistant tour manager, and he's also the front of the house sound guy. And I'm down there, and I see him come out, and he's warming up, and so I go down, like, hey, that's cool stuff fans want to see. So we're like, okay. Yeah. So there we did a couple live videos. We did one for Fans in Motion. So yeah, that was just all fun stuff. And then the show itself, well, before the show, I got to meet some Fans in Motion that were there. Dwayne Vickers, Lance Rushing, Barb Harrington. There were some others who I didn't know, that they were on the page, but unfortunately I just met them there that time. So,
did you sign any Detroit baseball caps for him?
I did not. I did have a beer with them, but then I took off and went and got ready for that night's show. But I did. It was cool. It was fun. You're there and you're getting to meet. Yeah. You already know people, kind of, right? So.
Did Dwayne Vickers stand in front of you at all?
You talking about his?
Dwayne Vickers is so huge in this picture that Josh got taken with him and Barb. I told Josh, one, that man better never stand in front of me at a concert, and number two, when shit's going down, I'm standing behind him. Yeah. Period. He's gonna be my bodyguard.
Big guy, and they were
huge guy.
They were in the front row. I did get a couple things of swag that I was able, some stickers, able to get to him and Barb and a few other fans that were on the way in the back. So got to take care of them. What else? So it was every fan's dream.
Yeah.
But it wasn't easy. I mean, you're wanting to be invisible. There is a lot of stress that came with it. Not that I would trade it, but there was a lot going on. It wasn't just all, fun and games. And
it's not all the glory. It's behind the curtain of Oz.
And I really didn't get to see the show because I was constantly doing something. I would go over to Eric's side, but I couldn't hear the audio. There's no audio. The audio is a lot different when you're on the side of the stage than you're out there. It was packed. Like I went out a few times to, watch the show, and it was just asses and elbows. Like I even had the VIP pass.
Woo!
I went up to the VIP section. It was still packed up there, and so, that's half the reason why I was back there so much. It's just wouldn't be crowded. So I stood in the hallway. Yeah. I wasn't even connected to the stage, to where I could at least hear it a little bit better.
That's good to hear, though, that the show was packed because we need to get back to this, and we need to support these bands because they got to get back to making a living.
Yeah, it was a good turnout, and the merch stand, they had most of the stuff was stuff we've seen. They had, the barbed wired long sleeve shirt and the Night Ranger shirt with flames, hand sanitizer with the Night Ranger logo.
That I need
some 8x10s and stuff like that. But one thing they did have that I didn't have, which I grabbed.
Yeah. I'm going to order myself one of those. That's so cool.
Dawn of Madness, and it's kind of neat. Even on the inside, the stitching says Night Ranger.
Oh, that makes it even cooler.
Or Dawn of Madness, I guess. I guess it says Night Ranger Dawn of Madness. So it's kind of a trucker hat. It's got the see-through in the back. Oh. So there is that. I grabbed one when I was down there.
Did they have all the hats there, or just that one?
They did not, because I posted on the Fans of Motion page when they put them on the website a few days later. They had that, and then they had the solid black ones with just
just like your Detroit hat,
with a gold or like a yellowish logo, and then they had a solid black one with the Night Ranger logo solid black. And I ordered.
Oh, I only saw the one. I thought it was white.
Well, there's
a black on black.
There's a black on black, and I ordered 2 of them. And I ordered one of the white, and as if I'll ever wear anything but this hat, but whatever. So I put it up on the page, and either my influence is mighty, or they had like 3 black on black. It was sold out almost immediately, and so the other ones are still available. So get on there and get them if you want them before they sell.
Yeah, I'm gonna do mine when we get done tonight. Because I just forgot about it till you said that.
I think these are left over from the Japanese tour.
Love it.
Don't ask me where I heard that. I can't remember, but I think that's what that was. So
no tour books left over, huh?
No, because I would have bought all of those.
You could tell us that Jack told you that while you guys were slamming down a drink or two. Johnny's little Seaside Inn.
He kept calling me Angie.
You're like, I don't know what that's about, but whatever, man.
But it was surreal, man. There were surreal moments.
Yeah.
And
hey, Angie, I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm good with that, Jack.
But yeah, I mean, it's only can be beneficial to the page and the Night Ranger world, and I look forward to, this relationship, helping with his social media and everything with Kelly's social media, and it's a good time in the Night Ranger world.
Well, not to leave that hanging there, Josh. I just want to jump in and say how awesome, a little jealous from my end, but how awesome is it that, again, I'm in awe of what this page is becoming. And, a little over a year ago, we were just talking about this, and now we're starting to get, you especially are getting some treatment, and like you said, it's only going to benefit the page. I mean, it is not self-serving.
Everything.
There's reasons that Josh is reaching into these and trying to get a hold of people because it's benefiting the podcast. It's benefiting the fans. Kelly's social presence is what we need.
And everything's been organic. I can't remember. It was a Friday. It was a Thursday night, Friday conversation with Kelly just on text. And I think, I don't want to get, too personal in details and stuff, but it was just, I think I shared, something rare from my collection that I'd taken pictures of for the podcast and had sent him, while I had him on my phone. And I don't know how the conversation went the next day, but it was just kind of like, well, can you help me? And it's like, you don't have to ask me twice. Of course I can. And so there we are. And it's
well, just speaking to you from a fan's point of view, not a cohort of yours, but just a guy who can see when you share this stuff with us that you can share, and we're seeing this kind of behind the scenes stuff. I mean, the shout out from Kelly to the fans page was just No one else is doing that.
And
that's, again, we're all diehard fans. I mean, and again, not to just real quick throw this in, we're up to 4,500 people now. Mm-hmm. These people are looking for this stuff, and luckily we inadvertently are able to deliver it.
And reason why Kelly has brought me on board is he is wanting to get, he wants to, get this stuff to the fans and show the fans this stuff. And it's just, it's just hard to do when you're making a new album and, you got all this professional side, but he's also got a personal, side. He's, him and his wife and that life too. So when you add everything together, that's where I kind of come in just to help with that little social media part. And, but he's wanting that this, that's what's great is he's the one pushing this. I want to show the fans and get the fans some cool stuff. And so that's what we kind of did. We brainstormed and I got some great video that we're going to release. Basically me on right behind his shoulder, watching him at sound check, doing the drums and everything. And,
that's what I want to see.
So I got some of that video and hopefully, some future shows that I go to will have, I'll know more of the routine. I'll know what looks good. And, it'll just keep getting better. One thing I did find before I left, and I took it, I didn't show any of the guys. I just took it and I kept it in my room to kind of be like, what's those memes or whatever people would post, like how it started and how it's going or something like that. So I found this.
Oh, yeah.
Is that you?
That is me with the headphones sleeping. You can see the Midnight Madness laying on my chest. I got a Snoopy shirt on. All right. So there you go.
That's how it started.
That's how it started. Here, I'll read the back. My aunt made this for me. November of 84. Joshua, 7 years old, went into my bedroom and put on my Night Ranger album, full blast, and fell asleep. This is how I found him. That's from my Aunt Jody. So that's how it started. So I had that in my room, just like 7 years old, man. And
that's awesome, man.
So, just that's how long. And I just remember I used to stare at that Midnight Madness album cover, the jacket there and everything. But what's great is, we did a Mother's Day recording, and I got to do one for my aunt, who I had stole the record, and her friend. I got one for her friend that was always there, and he did one for my mom, even though she's not a Night Ranger fan.
But did your aunt love it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, she was, she graduated in '85. Night Ranger was. Yeah. And what's funny is, I forgot about this, but me and Kelly were talking one evening. This is just a few days ago. We were talking on the phone, and I forgot my aunt was bringing over a document. Notarized document that I needed. And so I'm talking to Kelly, the doorbell rings. I'm like, who I just forgot, and I opened it up. It was her. And I'm like, hey, Kelly, I'm going to put you on speaker real quick. Can you say hi to Jody? He's like, yeah. So, my aunt's standing there. Hey, Jody. And she's all like nervous, Hi, Kelly. Thank you for the Mother's Day thing. And, normally I wouldn't do that, but it was just like, kind of a spur of the moment thing, and we're all right there, and I
why
forgot.
Not, right?
So he was cool about it, and he knows the story, and but yeah, it's all good, it's all fun. I hope everything that all three of us are doing, we get to push that all on to everybody that's on the page, and just get to see fun stuff. And
absolutely.
So. Oh, and also about Kelly's page, anybody listening, watching, you don't have to post Kelly's page to our page. Trust me, Josh is already doing that. I declined at least 5 posts of the first, post.
Hey, fucker,
You
we need them shares. You post them.
Yeah.
Well, but no, you're already posting
I
it.
need those algorithms.
Well, then you don't post it to the page, and they can post it to the page.
No, I want everybody to post it 15 times.
Post it as much.
I want
just
you to
crank it.
I want you to add Brent Walter to your friends list and post it on his page. Send it to him in private message.
Oh no, you could share with everybody like that.
Print it off on your printer and Pony Express it to his ass.
Listen, I want you to get in there, but you gotta post that.
Oh,
that's my horrible Randy Savage.
Ooh, yeah, that sucked.
Speaking of sucking, Brett, you got anything for Fans in Motion? Because I got to get out of where I'm at right now.
Wow.
Listen here, brother.
No, I meant I was sucking. I need to get you.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not on you or the fans.
That's a terrible recovery.
My impersonation of Macho Man was not well.
Yeah, well, I didn't even try. Josh, quit watching the ball game. Pay attention to me.
Tell us what's good in Fans in Motion world, Brent. Why
Fans in Motion world? As of tonight, Saturday evening, Jeff Harrington had posted a question. The question was, does anybody think that 35 Years and a Night in Chicago on Blu-ray and or DVD will ever be released again? But actually, the Blu-ray was a separate release. Yeah. I'm going to post on there, my personal reasons why I don't think it will be. One, we're in a climate to where it's so hard to get physical copies anymore. Everything's going to digital. My advice would be to look on your digital platforms and see if it's even available. Personally, I don't know. I've never looked for it, but I'm going to now that I'm bringing this up. But there's so many copies from Japan and that you'll see on eBay and perhaps from France, anywhere around the world. Well, the great thing about what Frontiers did was Frontiers made all these Region Zero copies. So if you buy one from Japan, you buy one from England, wherever you are, they're going to play on your player.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about a region code incident to where it will not play. So for all you that know anything. What's that?
Is it available on Blu-ray?
It is available on Blu-ray.
Because all I have is this version.
Yeah, I've got the Blu-ray over here.
Okay, so it is available, just they wonder if it's going to be re-released.
But it's out of print.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
So now you're finding copies where it's like $80, $150 just because it's so hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
So my advice would be suck it up, buy it when you find it cheap, or look for a digital platform.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to post that to the page, so that way people who maybe do not listen to podcasts, give them an education.
Who are those people?
I don't know.
Bunch of degenerates.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay,
no?
Donna Gallucci. I'm a fan of your beach towel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, her beach towel is rocking. I've seen those on Amazon. I've never seen one in person, but it looked really good.
Is that an official merch thing, or is that something you just have made?
It's an aftermarket thing. I think somebody made them on.
Love it.
I don't want to promote anybody who's making them, but it was very cool. It was something I think that the band might want to delve into sometime down the road. Who knows? But Donna Gallucci, thank you for sharing that. You were the coolest person on whatever beach you were on, or any beach you go on. Brad Klink and Amy Pereira Johnson had also shared some great pictures. Brad's was from, I believe, 2016 of a show he had went to. And, of course, Amy's was from Rock the Heart. I believe it was 2020. So that stuff was pretty cool. I love seeing pictures from different points of view. Like Josh. Josh had one of the greatest pictures from a point of view of Kelly, that black and white one you posted on the page.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was fantastico.
Well, that was good because most of the time they take photos during a live show, so you're beating the shit out of the drums. That was during sound check, and it was in between a break, and so I just snapped a few, and so the mic was positioned perfect, so it wasn't blocking his face, and he got to smile. So
wow, it reminded me of a good tour book photo. Is what it reminded me of.
Yeah,
right. Well, hey, you know what? You pay the man, and it shall be.
It could be a tour book photo.
All I did was go print screen copy.
Yep.
But yeah, we had some good fan interaction from the Houston show. People sharing their videos, their pictures. I had that list made out last week when Josh and I were just going to do the podcast. But when he got back from Houston, he called me Sunday. And his voice kind of sounded like this. he didn't sound like the same guy. It was hysterical. And he's like, I don't really feel like doing the podcast. We got so much going on, and I'm tired, and I'm just, my voice is hoarse. Next thing I know, 3 hours later, we hang up the phone. Yeah. We could have done the podcast.
Well, it was a ride. It was a rock and roll ride.
Yes, it was a rock and roll ride.
My body needs to. It's been a while since I've been.
You were adrenalized.
So,
well, truthfully, we were going to do the Damn Yankees show then, but we really needed our compadre, Andrew. I mean, we didn't want to leave him out.
Yeah.
We are Tres Hombres.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's our ZZ Top podcast. Pardon me. Excuse me.
Get it right.
Yeah, but no, and it's just like, quit watching the game, Josh. What's the score?
2-2, 10th.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's something else you don't realize too. I mean, I didn't even perform. I mean, like, I'm not up on stage, and the flying and the cars and going back and forth and the walking. I mean, I walked once from the venue to the hotel, but it wasn't much. But
you also walked to Minute Maid Field for a huge disappointment.
All right, listen, I'm gonna have to edit some of this shit out because you're gonna narrow down where the hotel was.
No, you walked like 18 blocks.
There you go. I walked 18 fucking blocks. So, yeah, forgot about that story. So I go to. I had some time between, the lobby call before the show, and me and Kelly were going to meet up a little bit beforehand and do some of those Mother's Day stuff. So I had a little bit of time to kill. So I went over to, not Enron Field,
Minute Maid Park.
Minute Maid Park. And I'll just get a cheap ticket. I'll go in, watch a few innings, drink a couple beers, eat some hot dogs. I go over, there's a ticket booth. All right. So I see a girl in there sitting in a ticket booth. And I deduced through logical thinking that that's where I would buy a ticket. And so I go over there and I look in the ticket booth at the lady sitting in the ticket booth, and I'm like, "Give me one ticket." And she looks at me and she's like, "We don't sell tickets. You got to go on this app and purchase a ticket there." And there's like a little sign up above, whatever, you went to this app. And I'm like, I go, "So you're sitting in a ticket booth telling me you won't sell me a ticket?" She's like, "Yes." And I already hated the Astros, and that made me hate. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even dealing with this. So I just turned around, got dinner somewhere else. But so I was told by the girl in the ticket booth that they don't sell tickets.
Yeah, so that's like Seinfeld doing the reservation on the car, but they don't hold the reservation.
Right.
That's what the reservation's all about. That's what the ticket booth is all about.
Yeah.
Well,
so then you got to turn around and walk 18 blocks back.
Uphill, both ways.
Yep.
Oh.
Snowing shit in Houston. So, so that was another fun story I had there.
Well, that concludes Fans in Motion page fun.
Well done, Brent. Well done, Brent.
Thank you. Well, I could have done it without Donna Colucci, Bragg, Clank, Amy Pereira Johnson, and Jeff Harrington. I couldn't have done it without them.
It's like the credits are rolling.
And oh shit, I don't remember what the hell I was gonna say. Go Reds! Come on, score.
Hey, why you got a little blip here that you're gonna probably edit out? Do you want me or not want me to mention the video Kelly sent me?
You can mention it.
All right, I want to check with you before I did it because I was like, I don't know if he wanted that to not be out there.
Well, yeah, you probably should always check, but we're good.
So that's what I say. I was like, I didn't. I'm not ever going to post that, just so you know.
No, you can. I'm sure it probably wouldn't be an issue, but yeah, one thing, when me and Kelly were going to do some of this promo video stuff, I he's obviously been on the podcast with us, and I told him that your mother had, and that was one thing that was going on too this whole weekend. That was so great. Your mother, is passing away, and it's like, it just how that the world works. It's like one of us is having this great weekend, and the other one's going through one of the, toughest times, of their life. And I had made Ed, was asking about you, and Eric and Kelly, and when we sat there to do some of those promo videos, I think it was Kelly's idea. Like, hey, let's do something for Andy.
Well,
is this being edited out right here?
Save that and bring that up if you want.
Okay, I'm gonna get some more water in here real quick.
I wasn't editing shit. What are you guys doing?
Now you're gonna have to. Well, so we'll just bring up. You just ask me.
I ain't editing right now. You guys are the ticket taker, not the ticket. You guys are the person in that ticket booth
sitting in the ticket booth.
Just all right. We good? Ready? Everybody good? We all here? I'm not editing. You guys always make me edit. I don't want to edit no more.
Oh, I thought you were editing this.
Negative. I'm not even editing this.
Well, I got some water. I had to get some water because I've got a block of ice in here. Keeps it cold.
Does it really?
Yeah, that's what ice does.
But,
ice, baby, tonight.
So, anyways, I don't know. But Andy, we were all thinking about you that weekend, and why don't you, tell us, talk a little, pay a little tribute to your mama.
Yes. So, some of you know, and Josh had posted it, had asked me about it. And my mom very quickly had a massive stroke that she did not recover from, and unfortunately, she did pass on August 8th, which was Josh was having one of the best days of his life, and I was having not the best, but as Josh had mentioned earlier, that Kelly had made some videos. Kelly made a personal video and sent it to me, expressing his condolences, and it meant a lot, at a time when, I was reeling. I was lost a little bit. So I thank you, Josh, and especially thank Kelly and for doing that. But, just as quick as I can and try not to get all verklempt about it is, my mom was so instrumental in me getting into music. So I've told the story before. I'll do the quick version of it. I held someone had given me a Kiss album. I showed it to my mom. I said, Mom, I want to do this. I want to wear makeup and I want to play drums. And at 8 years of age, she was like, all right, sounds good. She wasn't a Kiss fan, but she was supportive, and always supported me with, any musical endeavor I ever had. And Brent can attest to that, because Brent's been there for almost everything I've ever done musically. And so, so she was she was great. It was nothing was expected. And I have to say thank you so much to so many people who, from this page, that reached out to express their condolences and their thoughts and prayers. And it didn't go unnoticed. And it means a lot to me, especially because, you people don't know me. I'm just somebody. Right now, I'm one of 4,500 people on a page. And, we do this little podcast and we entertain ourselves and the people that listen. But I really appreciate and the well wishes, and I appreciate my my friends here giving me a little bit of space. And
well, I was local, so I didn't give you a ton of space.
I mean, my phone wasn't blowing up. Josh wasn't like, "Hey, man, we got to record." Everybody just backed off. I think I'd said to Josh, "I'll have my stuff with me. We'll be good to go Sunday when you get back." And that just wasn't in the cards.
Right.
My mom had passed that day before, and anybody who's recently or anytime has had make funeral arrangements, there's a lot to do. And my dad was a little lost, so spent a lot of time helping him. So, anyway, thank you everybody, and I appreciate it, and especially Josh and Kelly for making something pretty special for me. And Brent, you were there with me, buddy, so I appreciate you.
Yeah. I want to reflect a little bit. She was fantastic. Love her dearly.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm composed. But what I want to say is, what got my tears jerking a little bit. We were at the services, and a preacher was speaking, and I'm sitting in the back of the room, and I'm doing really well. It's like Sharon loved, her favorite
gospel
song.
music.
Yeah, gospel music, and he was naming these gospel people I've never heard of. In fact, they played a song. The only reason I knew it because it was the Alan Jackson gospel commercial. They played to buy a CD. I'm like, hey, I know this song. It sounded a lot like Trace Atkins singing. Was it not Trace? Who's got the long hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
anyway,
strange, right?
So he's talking about, and what was his name, Andy? The pastor?
Ken Cox.
Yeah. Ken, yeah. When Ken looks, he goes, but Sharon loved Kiss. And
so we got a Kiss drop at my mom's funeral, and it wasn't me that did it.
And it wasn't me that did it. In fact, when they were playing Amazing Grace, I turned to my friend Herb. I said, if I go before any of us, I said, you make sure my wife plays Love Gun.
Yeah.
She plays some Night Ranger, she plays some Lit, and she plays Kiss. I said, because it'll never happen if you guys don't take it over. But, yeah, so he was sitting there talking about, oh, they're great people, Ken. You really should look into them. Kiss is great. Yeah, like Andy said, she wasn't a fan of their music. She was a fan of the band.
And because of me and Brent. So, but, yeah.
And she had a secret crush on Gene Simmons.
Sure.
So when that happened, then the waterworks.
Yeah, I was going to try to, my guitar player in my band, he goes, I'm surprised you didn't say this eulogy that I spoke was brought to you by the Fans of Motion podcast.
Yeah, and I told him
you didn't work that in. I was like, trust me, there was a rough version of the eulogy where I had a Night Ranger quote in there, but I dropped it at the last minute.
And when he got done, I was joking. I said I was totally waiting for you to go, say hello, Josh.
He did.
Totally did. And you would.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I said, and you wouldn't believe our close friends that were there, and Night Ranger fans. We are one, but these guys aren't really fans, and we make them. How can you talk about Night Ranger? 50 episodes. I couldn't get through 3 of them. I'm like, shut up.
We spent a lot of time
us our whole lives.
Our podcast.
Well, then on top of all that, Carrie's dad just passed away a couple of days ago.
Yep.
So his mom, which a lot of people knew on the page, Beverly, she went by Beverly Hills. She passed away a few months ago.
Yep.
So, then just, I've, both my grandparents who I took care of both passed away within 3 months of each other, and my mom almost passed away from COVID a couple months ago. So it's just been a shit year for that kind of stuff, and I'm looking forward to this new Night Ranger record that's coming out.
And I'll finish. Scary. I'll say one last thing is, while I have been very absent from social media for the past 2 weeks, the one thing I did do is I checked the Fans of Motion page because it was one thing that I could use to escape. As we sat at the hospital and waiting for things and waiting for news. This was the one thing. I didn't post anything, but I would scroll through as I was trying to take my mind off of things. So, again, just a tribute to this page and these people because it is very positive and I needed a little bit of a break. So, anyway, with that being said, how about them damn Yankees?
Smile when you say it, mofo.
I'm going to throw the first fact out before Josh gets going.
Yo.
They were the very first supergroup of the 90s.
Boom. I don't know if that's true or not, but I just want to go boom.
I did some research.
Yeah.
That came from Oh, I forget the guy's name. Redbeard, I think, the radio DJ.
Well, you did have.
Here it comes. Here comes the point shitting.
You did have this. I think it was the Storm record that came out the month prior that had members of Journey and had members of 707 and had members of Boston that came out the month prior. So that would technically be your first supergroup.
Can I
But
interject?
who formed first?
Can I interject? Is it technically?
Damn Yankees formed in the 80s. The album was just released in the 90s. And I'm making that up, actually. I have no idea.
But isn't technically Whitesnake always a supergroup?
Oh. Well, no. They were
the
the first tribute band.
What's the definition of a supergroup? Just everybody on their own? Is there
from different groups, people that have already made it?
Oh, well, wait a minute. I'm not trying to shit on your point, but what about the Firm?
Well, that would be the
90s. I said not 80s.
You said 90s.
Oh.
So that's where you went wrong.
That's me out, you see.
Yeah.
Tails. So we have
Come on, Josh.
the Damn Yankees. How did we get to the Damn Yankees? Yeah. Tommy Shaw. Let me tell you about Ted Nugent, brother.
Ted.
Damn Yankees is kind of like a perfect storm. All right. Damn Yankees would never had happened if Jack Blades, Ted Nugent, and Tommy Shaw weren't at their lowest in their careers. I mean, that is how this happened.
That's a sad, unfortunate truth.
Not so much, Jack. I mean, Big Life had been somewhat of a disappointment. Man in Motion was a big disappointment. But that's how this comes about. Ted Nugent had those big albums in the 70s. And in the 80s, he could still draw, a crowd live, but his records weren't doing much.
Yeah.
No, I think his record right before they formed was "If You Can't Lick 'Em, Lick 'Em."
Yep.
If I remember right.
And you had Tommy Shaw, who, Styx breaks up, disbands or whatever, 83, 84. He releases 3 solo albums, has a little bit of success at the very beginning, not much. His third album, Ambition, which came out in 1987, failed to even chart. So his solo career is dead in the water. As Brent said, 1988, Ted had released If You Can't Lick 'Em, Lick 'Em. It only got to 112.
Yeah.
So in the height of 80s rock, these guys' careers are at their lowest.
And that album also ended up in the cutout bins.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I mean, very quickly that year.
I remember seeing that record even at a young age, mainly because I liked the cover. But
yeah.
So and then Jack, obviously, you have Man in Motion. That album's not doing what they wanted it. The tour is not doing what they want. So you have these 3 guys. Like I said, they're at the lowest of their career, which gives the opportunity for this to happen. Now, what a lot of people don't know is Damn Yankees actually forms before Night Ranger breaks up. So both of them are on, I think, Atlantic Records at the time. They both realize, their managers kind of realize they're out of options. John Kalodner's in the mix, and he suggests, why don't you get Tommy and Ted to work, to work together? Let's see what we can do, because there's nothing going on with them at this moment because both of their careers have stalled. So Tommy has a solo band, which included Michael Carlone and a bass player, and I don't know if I want to pronounce his last name correct or not, but Norm Daler. Okay, so he calls them, hey, can you guys come down, be a rhythm section? I got Ted Nugent coming in. We're going to see if this is going to work. This is December of 88. So Night Ranger is just starting their Man in Motion tour in December of '88. So they meet at the rehearsal room for Tommy Shaw, and from those jams, they had Mystified, which ends up on the first record, and Come Again. So those two songs are even before Jack is ever in the band. And I've found where Tommy says Ted actually wrote the lyrics to Come Again, and Tommy wrote the music.
Wow.
So they, create some songs. They go to the China Club in New York City and play live. Play Mystified, play Come Again, probably some solo stuff. And Geffen pays, because remember, this is John Kalodner putting this together, and John Kalodner's with Geffen.
Mm-hmm.
They pay for them to do a 3-song demo, and at this time, they are called Damn Yankees. They call that demo Damn Yankees. That demo has Come Again, Mystified, and a song that we've never heard to this day called Part of Me. So it's those 3 songs, and like I said, it's called Damn Yankees at this time. Geffen passes. So they pass on that, and that's kind of the end of it. A couple months go by, and then it gets another kick. So I don't know exactly how, but from, I think, an interview with Jack, he calls Kalodner less than a week after Night Ranger breaks up. And so he tries to give that Damn Yankees project another kick. So he flies out in the spring of '89, Jack does, to meet with Ted and Tommy. And they go over some things, and they go to the China Club and play, which is May 4th of '89. So they, rehearse some of those songs. There is pictures of that as well, because I had an old magazine, maybe Rip or something, from 1990, and they had some pictures of that China Club show. All right. So now we've got something here. Jack was kind of the missing piece. It must be nice for Jack, because he's out of Night Ranger for a week, and now he's doing this. And we know that, you have these 3 big names and Michael Cardelloni. And we know from the David Lauser interview that Lauser did an audition for them. So we know that. And they have also said that if Michael hadn't worked out, Kelly Kagi was ready to step in.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that'd have been crazy. 3 singers, 4. Ted sang a song.
Yeah. So Kelly was the backup to Michael Cardelloni, but he worked out. Ted liked him. Tommy liked him, obviously, because he was in Tommy's solo band. But Kelly Kagi was kind of a backup to Michael Cardelloni. And Kelly Kagi also, if you go listen to one of the past episodes where Damn Yankees gets together in the late 90s, early 2000s to record this 3rd album that was never released, Kelly comes in and does some additional drums for them even at that time. So, they did have, different personalities, some conflict issues. There's an interview where Ted talks about Jack moving around, up on the stage. He's just all over places. And Ted, I think, talked to someone in management about it. And, Jack hears about it. And Jack goes to Ted and basically said, hey, from here on out, if you have a problem, let's just talk it out between us. We don't need to get anybody else involved. And so it's kind of like a check in the egos kind of at the door thing. but there was different personalities that they had to kind of work around there. So they get, they have that nucleus of the band, and like I said, John Klodner's there, and we know how important Klodner was, even talking to Lauser. Remember, Klodner's a big Lauser, guy,
Mm-hmm.
and so Geffen pays for another demo. All right, so remember they had that first demo that they passed on. It had the 3 tracks, had Mystified, Come Again, and Part of Me. So here's what's on the second demo. Listen to this: High Enough,
Ugh.
Coming of Age, Pile Driver, Come Again, and Tell Me How You Want It.
Well, you know where some of those songs came from, don't you? When Jack first came into the mix, he was staying at Tommy's house, and that's where High Enough came from. Jack was playing it, and Tommy heard it, said, "That's great. What is that?" And he came in, and they said they wrote the song in like 5 minutes.
So, yeah, I mean, they had spent time together, because I think Tommy was doing that guitar part of Coming of Age, the beginning. I think Tommy or Jack were doing that on the piano. That's how that started. And then, a story that I heard was Jack and Tommy were doing laundry. Jack is kind of humming something. Tommy's like, "What's that?" And he's like, "I don't know, just something I'm messing with." And that became High Enough.
Oh, see, I heard that totally different,
So that is, so that's the first demo, or that's the second demo. The first one with Jack. High Enough, Coming of Age, Pile Driver, Come Again, and Tell Me How You Want It. So 3 singles. And they pass. Geffen.
Come on.
Geffen passes. So they got 3 man. Jack has his own manager. Ted's got a manager. Tommy's got a manager. What's the is it Chrysalis? Is that the record label?
It is a record label.
It is. That's Pat Benatar and Vinnie Vincent were on there.
So that label had something set up with them, with one of the managers. Basically, you always wanted to work with us. One of the managers had a connection. They're like, "Yeah, sounds great," and they bring everybody in, and they think they're going to have a deal on that label, and the guy just kept saying how much of a Ted Nugent fan he was, and then they're trying to say, "Well, this isn't Ted Nugent. This is Damn Yankees." And the guy's like, "Yeah, I love Ted Nugent." So they were like, "Oh, okay, we're not even dealing with this." So they, that didn't work out. And so they had, like I said, these 3 managers. Bud Prager was Tommy's manager. Bruce Byrd, who we've talked about, was Jack's, and I think Doug Barker was Ted's. And they had an agreement: whoever got the record deal would be the manager of the record. So Jack knows something at someone at Warner Brothers goes in, is able to convince them, signs the deal. So Bruce Byrd becomes the manager of the record. All right, so now you have that. Ted's manager, Doug, like I said, I think it's Doug Banker, he becomes the manager of the touring. And Bud, who was Tommy's manager, is the consultant between the two. So that's how they make everybody happy. And one of the main reasons why you don't have a Damn Yankees reunion to this day is because each person is responsible for so much. If you go do a Damn Yankees tour, you're leaving, you're basically not employing all these people. So that's another reason I think Damn Yankees doesn't work, because, you're not going to be able to pay 3 managers in this day of age. And then you got, all these people depend on me. And now I'm going to go off for 3 months.
I'm going to do something else.
I don't know. That's just me just speculating. But
well, Bruce Byrd wouldn't be doing it anymore anyway.
Well, that's correct. Bruce passed away in 1992. But there is another person filling that.
Yes, I know
that role.
I know that very well.
So, so recording for the record begins October 23rd of 89. So that's when they start doing the actual recording for Warner Brothers. They record till about the middle of November. Ron Nevison is given the demo tape, so he shows interest and comes on board. Jack had some knowledge of Nevison because he was originally supposed to produce Big Life, and they couldn't wait on his schedule. They do some of the pre-production at Jack's place, because you'll see some of the photos in the CD booklet are from Jack's. I think they're at Jack's when remember when the earthquake happened in '89, and during the World Series, that they were at Jack's at that. One thing I wish I'd get my hands on before they went to the A&M studios in L.A., there was a studio that was near Jack's, and they went in and recorded the album live from top to bottom. So
wow.
That exists.
There's also, when they were recording at Jack's, I was reading Tommy was talking about a dog was barking during Ted's solo, and they left it in there, so it's on the CD. They didn't know which song it was. They couldn't remember. But they said that if you listen closely, you can hear a dog bark when Ted's playing.
Well, there you go. That's some of your homework, guys.
Yeah. Now I want to listen to it.
I haven't gone back and listened to that part yet, but I have to find it.
So they record that. The album is released, I think, March 13th of 1990, with the single Coming of Age. So when were you guys first?
Go.
I go first. I've told the story before. My mom worked at a rhythm and blues radio station as a receptionist. She was the what do you call it on WKRP? Lonnie Anderson. She was the Lonnie Anderson of the station. I think she was the only white woman in there, actually. And so every once in a while, rock stuff would come in. And she came home 3 weeks before this, or 3 weeks to a month before this album came out. And she goes, I got some band called Damn Yankees, and they're all white guys, and they told me to give it to you. And I looked, and I didn't even know this was coming out. And I saw Jack Blades, and I just flipped. And I remember calling Andy. I'm like, oh, my God, you ain't going to believe what I just got. And he's like, well, when's it coming out? I'm like, I don't know. But I had it at least a month before it came out. In fact, the CD, I don't have it in front of me. My preparation is not even H. But with the CD, the promo CD itself, instead of it being silver, is totally white with the same graphics on it. So that's how I got wind of Damn Yankees. So I knew that album top to bottom at least a month before it came out.
Yeah, I mean, again, I knew about it from Brent, but I remember, memories are funny. Like, I don't know how you get snapshots through your life.
Yeah.
But I remember, Brent, this is when my bedroom was in the basement, and I had a TV, it had MTV on, and I was doing something, and I hear that, and man, I spun around, and I just stared at that TV. I'm like, holy shit.
Because you knew the song already.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God. And it was like, because you remember the video, they're up like on the skyscraper and all that crap. And I loved that song, and I had been saving my money because we had these crappy jobs, and I saved up enough money to buy, a bookshelf CD player and one CD. I bought Damn Yankees, and I played that thing on repeat endlessly. And I have such love for that CD. A, because it's a time machine. It takes me back to that time, and B, it's just great songwriting. And I'm curious, Josh, because you talked about the demos that they were rejected. I would love to hear if the songs were similar. I mean, lyrically, we know what they were, but like did they sound the same, or did Jack change the sound, or did the producer change the sound? Like, I want to hear these demos so bad.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you would have to know who produced the demo. That would be, because there would have been a producer for the demos, so I don't know if that would have been Nevison or not. I do know that there were some guitar issues, like with the production, like they weren't entirely happy with how the guitars came out. So, that could be a difference between the demos and that as well. So, unfortunately, we just don't have those demos out there. So, well, yeah. So, maybe I'll get Jack on the horn and, hey,
well,
go dig around in your closet and
or let us do it.
Yeah,
we'll come out. We won't take much.
Road trip. Yeah.
What about you, Josh? Do you remember?
What's weird at this time, I was already kind of fed up with MTV. Like, all my buddies like Dangerous Toys and the Warrants and stuff. I wasn't into that. I was more into Aerosmith, Motley Crue at that point. And so I didn't watch a lot of MTV at all. And my aunt had said, and you got to remember, I'm 12 years old. Ted Nugent and Tommy Shaw hadn't done anything really in my life. I knew Ted Nugent. I knew Ted Nugent because my aunt had an old record, and it looked like Nugget, like to me. I only knew Tommy Shaw because, I don't know, a year earlier, we were at, some big outdoor like flea market or something, and they were selling vinyl records for $0.25, brand new. Number one, the vinyl market had dropped, and they were all cut out. And I remember she bought this Tommy Shaw record, which was Ambition. And I remember her saying this guy was in Styx. And all I can think of is like sticks, like trees, branches, sticks.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is a horrible, horrible name for a man. And so when my aunt, who got me into Night Ranger, she said she had saw on MTV that Jack Blades was in a band with Ted Nugent and Tommy Shaw's Styx. That's the only way I knew of them was of that. I had no idea really who Styx was, and didn't really know anything from Ted Nugent. So that weekend, I think I stayed the night with my buddy, and we stayed up. It was like opening day weekend for the Reds, and I think we stayed up and watched one of those games. And then that next morning, I woke up early and I turned on MTV at his house, and I sat there for 2 or 3 hours hoping to catch that video, and I did.
Yeah.
And then that next day or so, I rounded up, whatever, some money that I had, and went to Buzzard's Nest, the local record shop in town, and I got the cassette. And it was, like I finally have a new favorite band because, Night Ranger had broken up, and I liked Motley Crue and I liked Aerosmith.
Right.
But
not the same.
And it's not the same. And, Damn Yankees was somewhat popular. So it was cool. Like, wow, I got this Night Ranger kind of connection, and other people in school are talking about it because, me being...
They were big.
When I was 8 years old, talking about Night Ranger, and they were huge. Well, none of my other classmates were into music.
Right.
They were into whatever, other 8-year-olds were into. And then, as I got older, well, Big Life hadn't done anything, and Man in Motion hadn't done anything. Everybody was listening to Guns N' Roses. So it was cool to have this Damn Yankees record and other people know about it. So that's how I got into Damn Yankees.
Two things, Josh. One, when you were talking about Geffen passing on them, I was wondering in my mind at the time, well, they'd already released Guns N' Roses. Were they looking for the next Guns N' Roses?
Yeah, probably.
Passing on Damn Yankees. And two, were you allowed to say damn, or did you have to call them darn Yankees when you were little?
I think I called him darn, maybe to be safe. 'Cause I remember I got grounded one time because my mom heard me on the phone. I was talking to one of my buddies about baseball cards, and there was this hot prospect for the Orioles, I think, and his card was going for some good money back then. His name was Ben McDonald. Everybody was just, this guy's going to be great. And I just remember telling my buddy, 12 years old, it's like, this guy ain't going to amount to shit. And he didn't, number one. I was right.
So you called it.
And my mom heard that, and I got grounded. And so, yeah, I probably called him darn for a while. I mean, I'm sure I did. Not that I can remember exactly, but, I did have the shirt that said damn on it. Like I knew I couldn't wear it to school and stuff like that. But so you have that first single, Coming of Age, and it gets to 60. It's not a barn burner, but
no, and it wasn't a barn burner on MTV either. It wasn't a total huge rotation at first, from what I remember.
But they are so lucky that album was released then and not a year later, because they got in right at the end of that genre. Them and Firehouse are about the two bands that got in right before that door shut. Because if it would have been released in 1991, right when grunge, Alice in Chains, and Nirvana, Pearl Jam were coming up, you probably wouldn't have had that same response. I mean, I know you wouldn't have. So they got lucky, too, with the timing. They got in right at the end before the door shut. And they had a good co-headlining tour set up, which they really did for almost 2 years, where they opened for Bad Company. And I was lucky enough that I got to see them in August of 90. Just turned 13. I think my mom got my ticket for me. She didn't tell me. So I didn't know I was going to that show till the day of. And you got to remember, it's been, 5 years? A lifetime, really, for me.
Sure.
Since I had seen Night Ranger in 85. And it was at a place called the Capitol Music Center in Columbus, Ohio, which was at one of the horse tracks. It was just basically an outdoor stage that had been set up. And my aunts were picking up. These were separate aunts, not the aunt that, Night Ranger, everything. Mm-hmm. These are my other two aunts. Someone was late, so I can hear Damn Yankees in the parking lot. I'm like, oh. So I missed a few songs. I don't think they played high enough. They played...
Well, the second single at the time was Come Again.
Come Again, I think, was the third single.
Was it? I thought it was the second single.
I could be wrong, but
I'll look it up.
But it's High Enough had not been released as a single yet at that point. I do know that. And they did not play it. They played one Ted Nugent song, either Free for All or Cat Scratch Fever. They played both of those the second time I saw them in 92. They played Renegade. I do remember them playing Renegade by Tommy. And I cannot remember if they played Don't Tell Me You Love Me or You Can Still Rock in America. But whichever one they played the other one when I saw them in 92. So I got to see them play, a different Night Ranger song. But I just cannot remember what they played. And I'm sure it's out there. I probably should have did some Googling or something like that. But yeah, it was cool to hear Night Ranger and stuff. And by that time, I knew some Ted Nugent and some, Tommy Shaw Stick stuff, because obviously I went out and, started getting that stuff. So huge tour. I mean, it was a very good tour. I mean, obviously they did it for 2 years. Did you guys see that tour?
Saw at least 5 shows on that tour.
All right, Andrew.
They played.
Well, I think, Brent, you have a better shot at my memories than I do, but I think I've only seen Damn Yankees twice.
You saw them at Riverbend open for Bad Company, and then we went to the Cincinnati Gardens together,
right,
to see them. That was when they did the budget relief tour, and the tickets were all $15 a piece.
Right.
And they were co-headlining at that point.
And for some reason, I do not believe, and you can correct me, I don't think I was at the show where Ted got arrested.
Yeah, I think
so
No, the second tour they only came to Riverbend. They came back another time
but then I had to be there then.
Without Bad Company, because we were up on the right side, and that's when Ted shot Saddam Hussein.
Right. Okay.
And
but yeah, but I think I've only seen them twice.
I think you've seen them 3 times.
You think? All right, I'm gonna go with you then.
I think you've seen them 3 times. Because the first time you were with Gary.
I know I had the cool white T-shirt that says "Damn Yankees" on the front.
Yeah, I don't have any.
That said "Yank this."
Yeah, that's why I didn't buy that shirt, because I knew my parents would have a fit.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I was out of school, I was out of work and out of school. Things weren't looking so bright.
There you go. There it is.
So you have that code line, that tour with Bad Company, which was Brian Howe was the lead singer for that tour. The singles do somewhat well. I mean, Coming of Age hit 60. Come Again hit 50, which I never saw the Come Again video on MTV. I did hear it on the radio some, but then High Enough is what propelled that album.
Yeah.
It got to number 3 in January of 1991. Yeah.
That's why I said it's the 3rd single. Am I right? Was I right?
I mean, you could be. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
And like I said, I don't know. I just know. To me, I just remember hearing "Come Again" after "High Enough," like on the radio. But you'll have to Google.
I couldn't find anything definitive. I was trying to look it up while you guys were talking.
Well, let's just do this. Come Again. Damn Yankees.
Yeah, my little phone thing's across the room, so I don't want to get up and you miss all this greatness, you know.
I was on Wikipedia and it just didn't lay out the exact release order.
Oh,
the way it looked on Wikipedia is it went.
All right, here we go. Here's
Come Again, and High Enough.
Shut it. So here is the debut date, April 20th, 1991. So
yeah, but we need the other dates.
Hold on. Yes, so that says June.
I'm telling you, High Enough was. I'm positive it was the 3rd single, because that's when the album broke. That's when they became co-headliners after High Enough came out.
Like I said, on Wikipedia, that's the way it looks, but they don't have the dates.
Well, this here gives me conflicting stuff. It says on the U.S. chart, the debut date was April 20th, 91. And then on the U.S. rock chart, it says June 2nd of 90. So it's like...
yeah.
But
that's a year later.
I think you're right.
Well, you know why? Another reason why I think I was right, because I had MTV when Coming of Age came out, and then I remember my cable getting turned off because I only had cable in my room because my mom wouldn't pay for it, and I wasn't great at paying my bills at the time, and my cable was turned off, and I was babysitting my niece and her cousin when they were babies. And I was all excited because they had MTV in their house, and I actually saw the Come Again video there. Well, and then by the time High Enough came out, I had cable again.
I
paid my bill.
Just basically what I just saw there, you're probably right.
So according to what I'm reading right now, it says on the Wikipedia for High Enough, it was released September 22nd, 1990.
Well, I just know it peaked in January of 91. So from what I see, I've seen a couple dates for Come Again, June of 90, which would make sense. But I did see that one where it said it hit 50, which I know it hit 50. It said it hit 50 April of 91. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. So you had those 3 singles. High Enough is really what broke the album. You have 3 videos as well. And you had this VHS tape released.
Yep, have that.
Which had the Come Again video, the High Enough video, the Coming of Age video, and it had Damn Yankees was one of the first groups to be on Unplugged. MTV Unplugged.
Oh, wow. I don't recall that.
I want to think they shared the episode with Rat. Someone else can confirm that.
That sounds about right. Rat, they only did a couple songs, and Rat only did a couple songs.
So you had this. I just remember seeing
Poison.
Jack's kids are in there, Colin and James. I just remember thinking, wow, it had to be cool to have a rock star that's a dad. But you did have this VHS that was released.
They also had all the radio promos that came out on CD. They all had the video edited versions. I've got all the promo. Do you have all those, Josh?
I don't. I may have this. I got some of the CDs.
They've got a ton of promo CD releases just for singles for radio only.
Well, we'll get there.
Someday.
So the big controversy that happened on this tour was, well, there was a couple. So one thing that they were doing on stage was Tommy Shaw would bring an acoustic guitar out, and he would start playing Babe. And halfway through the song or whatever, Ted would come out and look at his acoustic guitar and say, hey, something's wrong with it. And he would take it and smash it. So
Animal House too many times.
So it was a little jab at, Styx and the soft sound. Well, Dennis DeYoung hears that and obviously isn't happy. It's like, why would you want to put down this band that you were in? You know what I mean? Like, because Styx was very close to getting back together with Tommy Shaw before Damn Yankees happened. I probably should have talked about this earlier. So, like I said, everybody in Styx's career is kind of stopped. They had started, to look at doing talks of getting back together. They had almost come to an agreement in '88, but Dennis was like, hey, I got to finish the solo record that I'm under contract to do. I got videos and stuff, and then after that, we'll do it. And there's even a picture taken of that time of Styx without Dennis, Tommy, JY, and the Panazzo brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the thing. Okay, finish that up, then we're going to do Styx. Well, then Damn Yankees happens. So now Dennis comes back to do Styx like everyone had agreed. And now Tommy chooses Damn Yankees over Styx. So now it's like, well, you had this agreement we were going to do this, and now he's not there. Oh, yeah. So it kind of pisses all them off. Now they've got to find, because it hurts their brand name, because now they don't have, one of the bigger guys in the band. They got to get a replacement, Glenn Burtnick, who we've interviewed on this podcast. So, and they have a new album coming out that comes out October of '90. All right. So you have now these two worlds, right? And they collide at the Syracuse State Fair in 1990. I would say it would probably been about July, August, somewhere in there. And so, like I said, Tommy's doing that thing by playing Babe. Styx is playing the first night. Damn Yankees is playing the second night. So the crew gets there first. I guess the crew wasn't treated that well. They get there. They had asked for tickets to go see the show, and the tickets that they were given were all the way in the nosebleed section. A little sign of disrespect. So it was Jack, Michael, and Tommy. Ted wasn't there. And they're all the way in the back of the Styx show. So, so some fans are like, starting to recognize Tommy, like, what are you doing all the way back here, and stuff like that. And then they finally, Tommy kind of wedges his way all the way up to the front. And Glenn Burtnick sees him, like, I think we talked about that in the podcast, like singing, and there's Tommy Shaw, the guy that you replaced. And, then there was issues about backstage, and I guess security got involved. I guess Jack somehow snuck backstage, got past security, And I guess he was just reaming the guys in sticks, like, you guys wouldn't be nothing without Tommy, and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, so there was this whole blow up of everything that happened. So that's kind of become legendary, and that, you know.
Well, isn't part of the folklore that doesn't Dennis Young have kids, and they were at the Damn Yankees show in Chicago?
Well, I think
that happened.
I think his daughter saw. That's how Dennis found out. Dennis's daughter was at the Chicago show where they did that acoustic guitar part. So I know Jack and Glenn Burtnick, I think, had some drinks at the bar that night and talked. And I do know that Tommy and Dennis, they were all staying at the same hotel too. And Tommy and Dennis sat and talked the next day and worked stuff out. You know, Dennis was kind of like, you know, I don't know why you have to do that. You know, why do you have to do something that hurts me
Ted.
personally? And, you know, also it's, you know, you were part of these records. Why? It doesn't seem like it's necessary. And Tommy kind of realized, you know, yeah, okay. And then they, you know, stopped doing it. You were talking about the CDs.
Yeah.
Yes, I got them. I'm not going to grab them, but I do have the cassette single.
Nice.
And it does. There is, especially with Come Again, a lot of cool versions. You have the radio mix.
Yep.
And you have a single mix. And I think the radio mix may be a little bit more acoustic. It's definitely, you can tell there's a difference. So there is that. And then you have High Enough. Boom. And it has the single version and the album version. The single version just has a guitar solo that's edited out. We got the old cassette tape there.
Yeah.
We got Rock Line from March 19th, 1990.
Mm-hmm.
So them there. Found an article. December 13th, 1990 for the Los Angeles Times. And I printed this off probably when I was doing some other thing for us. So it's just like a review that was printed, probably the day before the show. But I like this. They're talking to Jack Blades, and he's like, the fun thing about it, said Blades, who at 34 is the youngest of the three rockers. Nugent at 42 is the oldest. Mm-hmm. Just, seeing that in print, just how young they were. But it does talk a little in here about how they got together and stuff. And I think it does talk about Night Ranger's contract, how MCA picked up their next record, and that's what one of the big reasons too why they broke up. A couple of the 8x10 press photos that's out there.
Now I know Ted used to comment about when he first hooked up with Tommy that he knew it was going to work because he could hear some R&B in Tommy's playing.
He's a soul brother, man, soul brother.
Yeah.
And there is, I think that was what, in the back cover or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
So there is that. I do have the long box, but it's somewhere else that I haven't gone through. But
that's cool.
But the long box gives you a better definition of the, of
the eagle.
This. So this here is like you had on the long box, like the eagle's here, and they're standing on the side of the street, so it's all one photo.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's how that...
Yeah, and that picture's reversed as opposed to the CD's picture of the band.
Did you guys have these?
Yep.
Pro Star cards. You had a couple Ted Nugents.
I took my long box and I cut it up and used it as covers for my radio promo CDs. That's what I had done to my... Well, I didn't have a printer back, nothing back then.
I can't believe you cut up something like that, though.
Yeah, I sure did.
Damn Yankees.
Needed covers. I hated not having covers.
Saigon Kick. But anyways,
Ooh,
Kick. You had the Pro Set rock cards. Ted Nugent and Damn Yankees there. What we got here? Look at this. We got
itinerary.
Summer Tour 91, autographed by Ted Nugent.
See, that would have been a better shirt than what they had. Let me see that cover. Yeah, then that would have been a hell of a shirt right there.
See what we got here.
Some of their shirts didn't even look like them.
This is September, mostly the September.
Let's see, the Damn Yankees show with Jackal in Dayton, Ohio is where I told you where that guy was getting peed on in the bathroom by all those guys in a circle.
That was the Don't Tread tour. So here's kind of neat. I always like this. So you have a map with the area codes. So you know back then you needed your area codes and the time zones. And it has, calendar with the dates. And then I think we showed these on one episode. But you'd have, so here would be just the rundown of everything you would need if you were in the band or in the crew. It has, what your travel is, what the hotel is, where the venue is, contact numbers, what you're doing after the show. So the band's staying at the Huntsville. This is for September 9th. Huntsville, Alabama. Tells you Central Time Zone. The band only is staying at the Huntsville Hilton. There's a fitness center 1.5 blocks away. All kinds of, doors open at 6:30, showtime 7:30. Damn Yankees 7:30 to 8:50. Bad Company 9:20 to 10:40. And then the promoter, after the show, they drive to Birmingham, Alabama, 103 miles. So there you go there. And we also got this one, which is the winner of 91.
Nice. So cool.
A little bit thicker, so it's got January, all right, so this is actually before this. This is January of 91 through the end of March. So you got, I'm seeing if they got the Cincinnati Gardens January 2nd.
Wow. Sounds about right.
And we were on the floor. We were about 5th or 6th row on the floor.
Akron, Ohio. So January 2nd. So let's see where they were staying.
Omni, Netherlands.
It was either that or the Cincinnatian or the Hilton.
Get Joey, he'll know. He probably stalked them.
The Cincinnatian on 601 Vine Street.
Brent calling it.
Well, they were all together. Those hotels were, and that's where all the bands usually stayed. Night Rancher usually stayed at the Netherlands, like Andy was talking about.
So there you go. So
Kiss stayed at the Hilton.
There's that. There.
I was there.
You do have some 45s from that era. There is one for Coming of Age. I don't think I have that, but nothing really cool. Like, it's just your standard. There's no, picture sleeve. So High Enough with the B-side of Pile Driver. Come Again with probably an edit on the back. So a single mix and the radio mix.
Now, when you were jumping into that, I had found that they had played over 300 shows on that tour.
They were...
Wow.
I mean, they were running
dogs.
that thing to the end.
And then this is, I think, this is from either France or German. This is German and France. So you have to, because it's got some France stuff on the back, and then it's got the Gemma. So you got... This is the only picture sleeve, really.
That's like the back of your thing, your single.
Yep, and then you got the.
Oh.
Yeah, those are great.
So.
Been better if it would have been molded into it like the English ones are,
So was that album ever released on vinyl?
Yeah.
Well, good segue there, Turbo. Look at this.
Sure was, yeah, because it's the whole cover.
And look at this.
See?
What do you see there? That's a promo copy.
Now look at your cassette. In your cassette, the picture's backwards.
Yeah, they flipped it.
Yep. The way they're looking, like Ted's arms going the other way.
Yep, and Michael, they're just on opposite sides.
And then you see the record. Actually, here you can kind of see together how the It's all one picture on the street.
Yep.
So yes, it is. There were stock copies, and there were BMG, copies and Columbia House copies. I really don't know what I have because I've never labeled these yet. So I do know, like I said, this is the gold stamp promo, and it is a standard copy, U.S. copy. So it was released in the U.S. So there's that. What is this? This might be another U.S. copy. I would say this is just another U.S. copy, but not a promo. So there's your regular stock copy that was released in the U.S. This one's still got the shrink on it. And this is
UK. No, UK wouldn't have been shrinked.
This is Columbia House. So if you look right there, it just says
CRC.
And it does not have a barcode on the back. That's how I knew right away it was different. And
back then the UK didn't shrink the records.
I don't see where it says CRC on the label. So Columbia House would just be no barcode in the small black print. And whatever this is, this would be Germany. So you would have, like I said, it's German and French. So if you look, there's where it says France. But if you look over here, made in Germany. And then it's got the Gemma.
Yeah.
So there's that. It's actually got a lot of South American releases. There's a Guatemala and a Colombia I've seen. I just haven't bought them, because they just want, a little bit too much money for them for me to do it. But they, there is South American copies. I mean, it looks like they beat the shit out of them, when they got them. But they, there is some South American copies. So it was printed all around the world on vinyl, and it's been reissued twice on vinyl. I was not really too impressed with this company. It was called Friday Music. Very thick record. It's 180 gram. Hell, it might even be more than that. It seems like it's even thicker than that. But I was excited when it came, was being released, because it was going to be a gatefold. And the gatefold is this. So
that's cool looking.
But they're all pixelated because they just blew up the inside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's
probably used a CD booklet.
So it's not very well done. But other than that, it's there's really nothing different with it than your regular versions. It's just black vinyl. So that was the first reissue of it. And then Music on Vinyl released it, which I've bought some of their stuff before. That was limited edition, 1,000 copies. They did not do the gatefold, but the vinyl was silver. So it's silver vinyl, and they got the original label, that how it came. They didn't have that Friday Night Music. So these are the two reissues that are out there. On CD, one thing I didn't mention was there was a song, I can't remember what it was titled now, something like Harlem something, that they had kind of recorded and didn't put on the record. And then when the Nothing But Trouble movie came out, they re-recorded the lyrics and changed it to Bone Stripper. Because in the movie, there's this roller coaster called Mr. Bone Stripper. And so they...
I was wondering why it was called that. So
they... If you've seen the movie,
it's nothing but shit.
It's garbage. But so what happens was the bad guys put these people on a roller coaster, and the roller coaster goes around at the very end. It goes into like the shredder and cuts them all up or something, right? So the roller coaster is called Mr. Bone Stripper, and while that's going on, Bone Stripper the song plays. So that song is kind of...
How is that not a hit?
Yeah. So Rock Candy re-released the first Damn Yankees record with that as a bonus, and I think High Enough maybe live as a bonus as well. And also, it was never released physically, but Warner Brothers released, you can get it like streaming on Amazon and probably iTunes. I think it's called The Complete Damn Yankees.
Oh yeah, they do that a lot with iTunes with the artist that's got stuff. They'll mash it up together.
Here, so the complete Warner albums, Damn Yankees.
Okay.
So there's two of them actually. There's another one that's out there. There's this one that's called the High Enough, the Best of Damn Yankees.
Yeah.
So it's this, and it's got every song. It's both albums basically. So it says the Best of Damn Yankees, but it's the first record and the second record, and then this one right here is both records as well. But I think this one here has... Okay, so this one here is not in order. It's every song, though, but not in order. And this one does have Bone Stripper. The other one does not. So, like this one here starts out with High Enough, Coming of Age, Don't Tread on Me. So it's not in chronological order, where this one goes in album order. You know, so it's just basically like putting on the first record and then putting on the second record. So there's that. So there is your journey through Damn Yankees 1990 and 1991.
I have two things to add to it. When Tommy and Ted were asked how they were going to get along because Tommy was a vegetarian, and Ted's a hunter, Ted joked and said, Tommy eats the rabbit food, I eat the damn rabbit. And one other little tidbit, what was Tommy's name for the band before they came up with Damn Yankees that he joked about? Do either one of you know it?
I do not.
It was the Fuzz Nuts. Thank you.
I do know on there...
Tommy joked about calling them the Fuzz Nuts.
If you look on the album credits, it says backup vocals are the Never Leave Brothers. And that was Jack and Tommy's nickname because they never left the studio.
Yeah.
So if you look, it says backup, the Never Leave Brothers. And before you started saying something, Brent, there was something else.
Got your mind on Fuzz Nuts now, don't you?
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, there's something that I was wanting to throw on there that I am going to now forget. But
you can just insert it in the post production.
Yeah, but it was fun. I mean, we had a part of our favorite group back again, and it was nice to have, and it was a good record. I mean, that's
the beauty was too hearing Tommy and Jack. I've always said it, the harmonizing between those two fellows, man. I mean, it was just a dream come true sonically to hear that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this was a great album. I don't know how you guys feel, but I love all the tracks on this album.
Yeah, I mean, I would say probably the two songs that and they're still good, but the two songs that I was never really keen to was Mystified and Tell Me How You Want It. To me,
I thought you were going to say Pile Driver.
So I thought you were going to say Pile Driver.
Fucking Pile Driver.
Pile Driver's a fun song.
I like Pile Driver.
Isn't it? This basket you showed enough, baby. You want to drive? You got a pile, whatever. I don't even know what he says.
Yeah.
Just Tell Me How You Want It. Just didn't quite just fit the record. It just
Yeah.
And Mystified just wasn't as good, you know. I mean, that's
Right.
you know, to me. But I mean, if those are your two worst songs, then you got a pretty good record because
That's not bad.
it wasn't horrible. I mean, but think about how good Bad Reputation and Runaway were.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was, you know, I was surprised, like, when, you know, Jack, you know, so you had Night Ranger, and he wrote the song Night Ranger, then you had Damn Yankees, and you had the song Damn Yankees. It was like, well, with Revolution Saints, is he going to write a song Revolution Saints? Or on his solo album in 2004, is he going to write a song just called Jack Blades?
Yeah.
You know, sing about
another
thing,
when you speak of the song Damn Yankees, that's what the song that they were using over at Guantanamo Bay or something like that to interrogate the terrorists. They kept playing it over and over and over again. That's what the troops were talking about.
There you go.
I don't know, but
it was the Damn Yankees song.
But yeah, so
Ted was all proud of that. So
then you had, like I said, you had the Gulf War kicking off and him shooting the bow and arrows at Saddam Hussein, and you know that, you know, like I said, with that also carried Styx. That broke their album with "Show Me the Way." So, you know, Styx got, you know, their album broke with, you know, the Gulf War and everything as well. So, yeah,
there you have it.
Damn Yankees, 1990. Hard to believe it's been.
I know.
31.
Yeah.
31 years.
Well, everybody go out there. If you're listening to this or watching this, go back and put that album in or that CD in and give it a listen. It's a good, solid disc, man. And again, at a time when we didn't think we'd get anything from Night Ranger again, so we were super happy to have this.
It's aged well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was fun doing the research on this, the research that I had, because I got to go back and hear old interviews and learn things I didn't know to begin with. And just to see them that much younger was really cool. To hear the stories about them getting together, and then to go back and hear the album. I hadn't revisited that album in a couple of years.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's sonically it's fantastic. But you know, but Come Again, whew, that's a hard song to beat.
Well, okay, so that's probably one thing I will remember more than anything when I was in Houston at Soundcheck. And I would have been kind of behind Kelly's drum kit, but I was farther out a little bit so I could see right behind Jack, and Jack and Carrie did Come Again at Soundcheck.
Wow.
Wait. Maybe I was out front. Hell, maybe I don't remember. I think I was in something else, but I think I might have been out front at this time because I went out. Anyways, all I know is I heard Jack do Come Again, and it was the best I'd ever heard him.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, I just want to, you know, I'm the only one out there. I'm pretty sure this was after I came out and about, and I was kind of like, I was out in the seats just looking up at them because I did take some photos there. And I just remember wanting to like shout up at Jack, you know, just how fucking awesome it was. I didn't, but it was just so phenomenal. And and they did it, you know, they did it live, you know, that night, but it was just no one there, and just seeing him and just the acoustics, there wasn't, you know, people cheering or nothing. It was just his voice, and that song was
pretty
great.
cool.
So,
yeah, I don't know how you didn't clap or scream. I think we would have had to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to be that would be your, you know, you do that and you get your ticket out, man. You know, but
maybe not.
Yeah, it was just phenomenal hearing that. So I guess just listen, if you're listening to this, you know, go on the YouTube page and, you know, leave a comment. Tell us where you were when you heard either Damn Yankees for the first time, or when you heard Jack Blades is back with this new group, just share with us your story. Go to, if you're not, if you're new to the podcast, we got the website, fansinmotion.com. We got the Facebook page. Just go to your Facebook and just type in Night Ranger Fans in Motion. You'll find us. Or you can do www.facebook.com/groups/Fans in Motion. And that'll get you to us as well. And you can listen to us on the iHeartRadios and the Pandoras and whatever all that other malarkey is. What is it? iTunes, Amazon, and what's
Spotify, Stitcher, Audio Mac, Pandora, Amazon. Yeah. Subscribe and review.
Yeah, just say how great me and Andy are, and so yeah.
No love.
Hey, you didn't know about the fuzz nuts? Fuck you. I gave you a good tidbit there.
And it'll
be the most talked about part of the podcast now.
So,
fuzz nuts.
There we go. Your Night Ranger fix. We got it. If you haven't yet, obviously go to the Facebook page, click like to Fans in Motion. Go to Kelly Kiggy's Facebook page, click like. He's going to have all kinds of cool shit. I guarantee it. So, Andrew, take us out, man.
I want to say one thing.
Yeah, go.
Thank you to all the Fans of Motion out there. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you, Sharon Parker, for the gift I have in Andrew Parker.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. Thanks to my mom. Rest easy. Sorry for Carrie's dad, too. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, who knows the Damn Yankees? Brad does. Brad knows Damn Yankees. How about we play a Damn Yankee song, Brad? What do you say? Let's do a Damn. Come on, play your favorite, Brad. Come on.